Hello, and I'm doing another book review. And as you can tell, I don't have a script because I just read the book. It's called uh, Tao Te Ching or Tao Te Ching. Uh, I don't know how to pronounce the book properly. I was I was raised with a very Eurocentric education, so I don't properly know how to pronounce it. So for anyone who takes this book religiously, since it is a religious book, so to speak. Please bear that in mind, and I apologize. But basically, this text is the primary text of Taoism, which is a Eurocentric, or not Eurocentric, Asian centric religion. It was written by Lao Tzu in China approximately 400 BCE. That was just a quick Google search, not Wikipedia. But that's that. Plus, I'm aware of the yin yang was related to Taoism. And other than that, I learned either during or after having read the book, which admittedly was audiobooks, the app where I could listen to it for free, because there's no way I would have gotten through that thing just sitting down with a hard copy. Not happening. So, what did I think of the book? Well, there was no protagonist. At first, it's very philosophy heavy. Like a lot of those confusing quotes that we think of are like Buddhist. One from Sorry at SG1 was if you immediately know the fire is flame, then the meal was cooked long ago. Yeah, it has about that. Yeah, most of that I think came from Taoism because it makes about that much sense. Seriously, even on the show, they didn't really get it, and I still don't get it. Though it's been a long time since I actually looked up what it meant. But the first, so the book is about an hour and a half, surprisingly short. Listening to it, just audiobooks. I'd say about the first 20 to 30 minutes is that kind of philosophy where like seemingly paradoxical statements seem to be trying to present a message. And if you only read the book once, like I did, you're not gonna get it. I didn't. Though towards the middle, it starts to clear up a bit. Like it actually tries to get its point across, and then at the very end, it's this point, this point, this point, this point. And while it does still have some of that of alliterative language, it they stop trying to be like coy with their words. They actually do try to tell you what it is they mean. Uh, yeah. So a lot of the points that they try to make, I find to be a bit naive. In principle, I agree with a lot of the things. Like, basically, just try to be nice to everybody, and it will make you more benevolent, if you will. And ye who is one with the Tao is like benevolent. In principle, I agree. Be nice to everybody. I have no problem with this. In practice, it doesn't really work like that. Because if you're nice to everybody, you're going to get stepped on. It's that simple. And like a lot of it is angled towards governments, it feels like. They need to try to be kind to everybody, be benevolent to everyone. And it's like, in principle, that'd be rad, but in practice, it just doesn't work that way. It seems to ignore sociopaths, but also at the same time, it was written almost 2,500 years ago, so I wouldn't exactly assume that that would be either A, common knowledge, or B, convincing. Uh, One of the things is kind of like, yeah, I don't necessarily think that's necessary. It has in there basically like shed yourselves of worldly things, which I do like to live more of a minimalist lifestyle, but my parents gave me this leather jacket for Christmas. I didn't ask for it, they just did, and I like this thing. I'm not going to get rid of it, not because of materialism, but because, my parents just tried to get me something nice, and it looks good. And I happen to like leather jackets. So, yeah, I'm not going to get rid of it. That'd be stupid. And then, of course, there's the primary premise of the whole religion, that being the Tao. What is the Tao? Well, having read the book now, this is entirely my interpretation. Take that as you will. Basically, the Tao is the Force without Force manipulation. Like, yeah. Basically, it's like the spiritual version of the Force where you're like one with everything and everyone, and with like nature, heaven, earth, yourself, but without like the telekinesis cool stuff that you would actually want if you had the Force, and no lightsabers, because that would just be too cool. Um, yeah, that was basically my thing. I kind of want to go back to it, but I would definitely have to have a hard copy or just look it up online. I think this would definitely be a better book, like read in like pieces to try to break down each little thing. The only other thing I'd really bring up is the fact that there is one quote from that book everyone knows, whether you know it's from that book or not. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I did read one thing where there was another translation. It was the journey of 1,000 miles begins under one's feet. I can definitely understand why they went with the former translation. Yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on the book. This is a short review, and I think that pretty well says everything. And I'm not one for editing, so I'm going to call it good there. So, cheers.